At 3:18 in the morning on October 3, 2025, more than 50 heavy Chinese trucks rolled into a fortified depot near the Dnipro River, just outside Kherson. They were carrying massive amounts of supplies, over 4.5 million pounds of ammunition, rockets, and fuel. The convoy wasn't travelling alone, it had serious protection. ZBL-09 infantry fighting vehicles escorted the trucks, while HQ-7 missile launchers and Type 95 anti-aircraft guns provided air defence coverage. When the depot's floodlights turned on, the operation's true scale became visible. Trucks began backing up to reinforced underground bunkers in a rehearsed, systematic manner. But what the Chinese forces didn't know was that they were being watched. Ukrainian surveillance drones were streaming encrypted video directly to command centers in Kyiv. Ukrainian commanders immediately understood what they were seeing. This wasn't just a regular supply run. The enormous amount of material and heavy security meant one thing. This was preparation for a major attack in the south. This logistics hub was the main supply line for an attack that could change the entire course of the war. At 3:26 a.m., Ukraine began its response. 6 BRA TB2 reconnaissance drones appeared over the area, flying in circles at 9,800 feet. From that height, their thermal cameras and optical sensors started creating a detailed map of everything below. They pinpointed the exact location of every truck, every air defense unit, and every radar antenna. A few minutes later, 2 old Soviet-era reconnaissance jets made a fast, low-altitude pass over the depot. This was a deliberate trick. These jets were specially configured to create a huge radar signature, making them look like a full-scale bomber attack was incoming. The Chinese air defense network reacted exactly as Ukraine had predicted. Thinking they were facing a major airstrike, the HQ-17 missile operators locked onto the jets and fired multiple missiles. The Type 95 anti-aircraft guns opened up too, filling the sky with tracer fire. But the targets weren't bombers at all. They were just 2 expendable reconnaissance drones. While the Chinese missile crews were reloading, Ukrainian electronic intelligence units had captured all the radar emissions. They now had the precise coordinates of every active air defense battery. While Chinese air defense crews were still scanning empty skies, the real attack started at 3:32 a.m. A swarm of Ukrainian FPV drones, small aircraft loaded with anti-armor charges, came at the depot from multiple directions at once. Flying below 120 feet and using the terrain as cover, they were completely invisible to the depot's radar systems. The first drone locked onto a primary fuel tanker carrying over 90,000 pounds of diesel. Its shaped charge detonated on impact, piercing the tanker and igniting the fuel inside. The explosion created a fireball nearly 250 feet tall that lit up the entire depot like it was daytime. Seconds later, 2 more FPV drones hit a truck loaded with 152mm artillery shells. This triggered a catastrophic chain reaction. The high-explosive shells started cooking off one by one, erupting in a violent sequence that sent shrapnel flying in all directions. At the same time, another part of the Ukrainian plan was happening on the ground. Rattle autonomous ground robots quietly emerged from hidden trenches along the depot's edge. Their thermal sensors identified fortified machine gun positions and a camouflaged mobile radar truck. These coordinates were instantly transmitted to Ukrainian artillery units positioned miles away. At 3:39 a.m., as fires raged and secondary explosions continued, the next phase began. Low-flying Ukrainian heavy-lift drones approached the depot's perimeter and dropped several Mongoose autonomous ground robots. Each robot, about the size of a backpack, landed silently under a micro-parachute in tall grass less than 300 yards from a Chinese armoured vehicle staging area. Using 6-wheel drive and passive infrared navigation, these machines began moving toward their targets. The armoured column included modern Type 99A main battle tanks. These are formidable 55-ton machines with frontal armour exceeding 700mm of composite steel. But they have a specific vulnerability, and the Mongoose was designed to exploit it. The robots silently approached the tanks, their sound masked by the chaos of the burning depot. One by one, the Mongoose units used magnetic arms to attach themselves to the underside of the tanks, directly over the engine compartments. Each robot carried a specialized shaped charge, designed to detonate only when the tank's engine was started. By 3:46 a.m., over 8 main battle tanks had been fitted with these disabling devices. Their crews had no idea. What do you think about this tactic? Let me know in the comments. At 3:52 a.m., with the depot fully engulfed in flames, a 6-man Ukrainian Special Forces team was already moving. They travelled quickly on sound-dampened all-terrain vehicles, crossing a dry canal about 2 miles from the depot. Within minutes, they reached the outer line of Chinese guard posts. Each post was manned by 2 soldiers with QBZ-95 assault rifles. The Ukrainian operators dismounted and approached on foot. 2 commandos with suppressed MP5SD submachine guns neutralized the first 2 guards before they could sound any alarm. Another part of the team moved to a small auxiliary fuel yard where nearly 40,000 gallons of diesel were stored in large drums. They attached powerful thermobaric charges to the stacks, setting them on timers. The last 2 operators cut through the perimeter fence and planted a shaped charge on a communications relay truck. By 4:05 a.m., the team had silently taken out 3 guard posts and rigged key targets for destruction. At 4:12 a.m., the main ground assault began. A Ukrainian armoured spearhead led by Leopard 2A6 main battle tanks advanced from a tree line southwest of the depot. They were followed by Bradley M2 infantry fighting vehicles. Overhead, RQ-20 Puma drones streamed thermal imagery of Chinese positions to a battery of French-made Caesar 155mm self-propelled howitzers located 12 kilometers away. The artillery opened fire with precision, hitting Chinese mortar positions and the previously identified air defense vehicles. The first Leopard tank crested a ridge and destroyed a machine gun bunker with a single shot. The Bradleys followed right behind, using their 25mm cannons to suppress the Chinese defensive lines. By 4:18 a.m., Ukrainian armor was within 1,000 feet of the depot's southern gate. They had decisively breached the perimeter defenses. At 4:22 a.m., Ukraine executed its final deception. 2 MiG-29 fighter jets flew across the depot's airspace at 20,000 feet, broadcasting signals that mimicked an incoming cruise missile strike. Believing a massive air attack was underway, the remaining Chinese air defense crews pointed their radars and launchers upward. Their electronic warfare units deployed the JY-300 jamming system, flooding the radio spectrum with interference at 5.8 GHz. This was exactly what Ukraine was waiting for. The jamming that was meant to blind Ukrainian missiles instead blinded the Chinese operators to a threat coming in at treetop level. From the west, a Ukrainian RAM-2 loitering munition flew just above the ground. But here's the key. Its signal wasn't being sent by radio waves that could be jammed. Instead, it was controlled through a fiber optic relay station hidden in a farmhouse 1.2 miles away, making it completely immune to the Chinese jamming. The RAM-2 had one critical mission: destroy the mobile command vehicle that was coordinating the depot's defense. Protected by the very jamming the Chinese had activated, the drone slipped in completely undetected. Which part of this operation impressed you the most? Drop your thoughts below. At 4:29 a.m., the RAM-2 began its final dive, striking the Chinese command vehicle with precision. The explosion tore through the vehicle and vented directly into the main underground storage bunker right behind it. The intense heat ignited the stacked PHL-03 rockets and artillery shells stored inside, triggering a massive chain reaction. Enormous explosions erupted from underground, sending fireballs hundreds of feet into the air. A second drone strike then destroyed a communications tower, cutting off the last remaining command link. By 4:35 a.m., the facility was no longer a functioning logistics hub. It was a massive, burning crater. The main supply artery for the planned Chinese offensive had been completely severed, crippling their supply chain in the south for the foreseeable future. Amidst the wreckage, Ukrainian soldiers found 2 wounded Chinese crewmen and immediately provided medical aid. This mission was a demonstration of a highly synchronized multi-domain operation. The destruction of the Kherson depot was both a major tactical victory and a strategic blow that severely disrupted enemy offensive plans in the southern theatre. What other modern military operations would you like to see covered on this channel? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more content like this.